Good morning. I like to say happy BP Day to all the Scouts and happy Thinking Day to all the guides. And on the front of the bulletin and in front of the altar is a collaborative poster that my guide unit colored, and we used it for our enrollment ceremony. So how many here have been involved with Scouts or Guides? How many have enjoyed eating Girl Guide cookies? As a boy, my dad was involved in Scouts in Toronto. In the early 1950s, at 18 years old, he was responsible for his own troop for a few years. And again, he became a leader when my brother was a Scout. I was a Brownie in the 1970s. The uniform was a brown felt beret, long brown-sleeved knee-length dress, and brown knee socks. Sound familiar to anyone? I also wore a belt which had a leather pouch and had a pencil attached. My oblong neck scarf had orange maple leaves on a white background, and triangle-shaped badges were sewn on the uniform sleeves. Our children have all been involved in Scouts and Guides. Our son started in Scouts and ended in Venturers with a jamboree in Newfoundland. Our older daughter, he completed his Duke of Edinburgh Award and also his Chief Scout Award. Our older daughter completed 3 years in the guiding program and earned her Lady Baden-Powell Award. Our younger daughter completed 2 years in Brownies and 3 years in Guides, also earning her Lady Baden-Powell Award. I started as a volunteer guide leader in 2015. It had not been my plan, but when our youngest daughter was in Guides, her units kept closing. By becoming a leader, she would be able to complete her 3rd year in Guides. I am with the 3rd Riverside South Guide Unit. I love volunteering at the guide level. The girls have so much imagination and energy. They really want to change the world. I love that they can be silly and still want to learn. In many ways, they are fearless about their future. Seeing shy first-year girls develop into strong leaders by their 3rd year makes my heart really happy. I became a community guider in 2020. This means that I'm a resource person for 8 to 12 local units in the Riverside South and Manotick areas. I help start new units and recruit leaders to the units. I help with interpersonal issues. I love that I'm always learning and I feel supported in my positions. I like that Scouting and Guiding have the same founder, Robert Baden-Powell. I like that Scouts and Guides around the world celebrate Thinking Day or BP Day on February 22nd in honor of Robert Baden-Powell and his wife Olive St. Clair Soames' respective birthdays. Briefly, here's a bit of the story about how it all began. This is what we tell our guides. In 1876, when Robert Baden-Powell was 19 years old, he joined the army and went to South Africa and India. To teach the other men about the countryside around them, Robert made up games which he put into a book called Scouting for Boys. Back in England, Robert discovered that many boys were playing the games that he had written for his men. In 1909, he held a rally in London at the Crystal Palace for all the boys who had been playing his games. Not only did approximately 11,000 boys attend, but several hundred girls also came. They signed up saying they were really boys, but they weren't. They called themselves Girl Scouts. Robert asked his sister Agnes to be in charge of the girls, whom he called Girl Guides. Agnes wrote the very first handbook for Girl Guides in 1910. While on a transatlantic cruise, Robert met Olive St. Clair Soames in 1912. By the end of the cruise, they were secretly engaged and were married later that year. Their honeymoon was spent tent camping in Kenya. Not my idea. Olive was named Chief Commissioner in Guiding in 1917, and in 1930 became the World Chief Guide. Girl Guide of Canada's vision is a better world by girls. Their mission is to be a catalyst for girls, empowering girls. 61,260 girls are registered nationally, and 25,790 girls are registered in Ontario and Nunavut. There are more than 20,000 leaders registered, and there are wait lists across the nation. Much as Scouting has beavers, cubs, scouts, venturers, and rovers, Guiding also has different age groupings. Sparks is for 5 and 6-year-olds. Brownies, now called Embers, is for 7 and 8-year-olds. Guides is for girls 9 to 11 years. They have 3 levels of camping awards they can earn, as well as their Lady Baden-Powell Award. Pathfinders is for girls ages 12 to 15. They have the opportunity to earn their Community Service Award, their Building Belonging Certificate, and their Canada Cord Award. Rangers is for ages 15 to 17 plus. Rangers can earn their Trailblazer Award in 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold. Their Cookie Campaign Challenge, and their Ranger Service Award Project. Rangers can also apply for post-secondary scholarships through the Girl Guides of Canada. Trex units are for ages 12 to 17, and they focus on camping and hiking skills. The motto for all branches is "Be prepared!" Starting soon is the annual Try Now, Join Later program for all branches in Guiding. For a couple of months, a girl can register for free in a unit and learn more what Guiding is all about. But there are also other options for girls and women to become involved or stay involved in Guiding. Loans units are for girls who cannot attend regular meetings. Link is for young women aged 18 to 30 to stay involved but are busy with education or early in their careers. The Trefoil Guild is for adult members 30 years and up to retain contact with Guiding, but may or may not be active leaders. Historically, there have been Land Rangers, Sea Rangers, Air Rangers, and Cadets, also known as senior branches, and all became known as Rangers in 1971. And here's a fun fact. There were Girl Guide units in Newfoundland decades before Newfoundland became a province of Canada. All members of the Girl Guides have a special handshake. We use our left hands while holding our right hands in our promise. The background is that when Robert met an Ashanti chief in Ghana, the chief transferred his shield to his right hand, which was also holding his spear. The chief then offered his left hand, thereby showing trust for a peaceful encounter. Early training for guide leaders focused on drills, knotting, lashing, fire building, hiking, and camping. More recently, an additional focus includes program planning, communication, environmental initiatives, computer coding, and STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. When I started as a guider, we had a manual called Girls on the Go. The girls earned program area and interest badges. Every 15 to 20 years, a new manual would be printed. Except in 2018, a new online program library called Girls First was launched. It is considered to be girl-driven and has 5 pillars. First, a safe space. This is a supportive environment where girls will be heard, respected, and appreciated. Second, a growth mindset, which meets girls where they are and allows them to stretch their abilities, to experiment, and to fail without fear. Third, a positive identity. It inspires the girls to dream big and meet female role models and to debunk gender and cultural stereotypes. Fourth, shared leadership. This means that everyone can contribute and opinions matter. It helps the girls learn responsibility. Fifth, an engaging community. Encourages opportunities to engage with the local guiding community as well as the global community. These actions can have a lasting impact. The new Girls First program platform has 7 program areas for every branch, each with 3 themes. And the program areas are Guide Together, explore identities, build skills, be well, experiment and create, connect and question, and take action. The online platform is dynamic and stays up to date. It is so much more effective than using a book. All branches of guiding have activities within each theme. It was especially useful during COVID when many units were meeting online. I like that there are different activities for different regions across Canada. For instance, we can learn about biodiversity in British Columbia or endangered species in the north. We can compare oceans and lakes across the nation. We can use the feedback function to improve the activities and share our experiences. Every 2 years, there is a new national service project. The national service projects began in 2010 and have focused on areas such as the environment, gender equality, literacy, poverty, Indigenous cultures, and currently action for wildlife. I want to spend some time talking about the Reconciliation Actions Service Project from 2021 to 2023. Girl Guides of Canada has taken steps to reconcile with Indigenous communities through an apology and the National Service Project Reconciliation Actions. In June 2021, Girl Guides of Canada apologized to Indigenous girls, women, and communities for using Girl Guide programming in 34 residential schools from 1910 to 1970. Girl Guides of Canada acknowledged that their non-Indigenous programming was used as a tool of assimilation. The goals of the reconciliation effort are to create safe and inclusive spaces for Indigenous girls and women. They also partner with Indigenous-led organizations to create awareness and share knowledge. Since the apology, the National Indigenous Advisory Circle was created to ensure safe and welcoming places for Indigenous women and girls. The Reconciliation Actions National Service Project was in partnership with the Gord Downey and Cheney Wenjack Foundation. More than 2,300 resource toolkits and 11,000 crests were mailed out across Canada. The focus was to provide education and programming on the history of residential schools, to celebrate Indigenous cultures, and to help units on their reconciliation journey. World Thinking Day, we finally got there, has been celebrated since 1926 and is a day of celebration of international friendship. It is an opportunity to connect with our global movement and fundraise for 10.8 million Girl Guides in 153 countries around the world. Every year, the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, or WAGs, creates an activity package based on a theme. The annual activity package has collaborators from around the world. Not only is the package published in English, but also Spanish, French, and Arabic. This year, the theme is the first of a 4-year cycle, Our Story. The following years will be Our Friendship, Our People, and Our Future. This year, Our Story focuses on the effects of racism and colonialism and how we can make reparations. The goal is to ensure the experiences and voices of cultures around the world are acknowledged and represented. Now, onto cookies, the tasty part. Cookies are the main fundraiser for Girl Guides of Canada. Profits cover program, activity, camping, and event fees for girls while they learn leadership skills and develop friendships. Selling cookies helps the girls build confidence, learn goal setting, money skills, advocacy, and marketing. The first cookies were sold in Regina, Saskatchewan in 1927 to raise money for camping. These homemade cookies sold for 10 cents per dozen. Sounds like a deal today, doesn't it? There were many recipes over the years as units sold cookies to fund projects and activities. When I sold cookies as a brownie, each box cost 75 cents. I remember canvassing my neighborhood street as the cookies had to be pre-ordered. Until 1952, cookies were homemade and sold by individual units. The chocolate and vanilla cookies were sold nationally starting in 1953. And in 1993, the chocolate mint cookies had their debut. The cookies are currently manufactured by Dare Foods in nut-free facilities. And another fun fact is Roberta Bondar, Canadian astronaut and former Girl Guide, juggled Girl Guide cookies in space. When you buy a box of cookies for $6, where does the money go? $1.80 goes to Dare Foods. $1 is for shipping. 40 cents goes to the National Council. And $2.80 stays within the local environment. And if you like cookies and enjoy running, every fall for the past 20 years, the Great Big Cookie Run fundraiser happens in Ottawa. Over 4 million boxes of cookies are sold in Canada every year, and I hope that you will enjoy some cookies this spring. Thank you for your support and inviting me to speak today.